Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second, please. Do 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 do. There we go. Here and oops. There we go. Yeah, there's a all right, awesome, 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 good, good, good. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today, and woo, what a day today! So another awesome, chopper, but guys, we talked about this last night. All right, that there was a really good possibility that after yesterday's big move, that we'd probably see some sort of retrace. We'd probably go, gap up or look a little bit green today, and then probably be some sort of inside day or some sort of pause candle. That's exactly what we got. So anyway, guys, today we're gonna keep talking about SPX because it keeps giving us interesting stuff. So today we're continuing our series. Which way will we go with SPX? And before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening, and then we'll go through the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, guys. So SPX, one more day left in the month. One more day left in the quarter, and looks like we're finishing up the month here with a bearish engulfing candle, right? So normally pretty ominous, right? Except we've seen this before, and a lot of times these bearish engulfing candles, like this one right here, barely any follow through the downside. This one right here, barely any follow through the downside. This one, the next month was nothing, and then it got some follow through the downside, right? So we've seen bearish engulfing candles before. They do occasionally lead to more downside, but the big thing that we are interested in is just the fact that it's a red month, right? And once we get a red month, then usually we, that gets us a little bit suspect. That here you can see after the Corona crash, right, we start with the red month, right? So the red months usually start some sort of downside move, but we'll see where we go from there. We are a little bit toppy. We've been talking about that a lot, and we'll just kind of see where we go from there. Weekly chart, still an inside week here, but back to the mid Bollinger Band on the weekly. And the daily chart, guys, like we said, inside day, right? So we gapped up today, we pushed, right? Things were looking a little bit green. Then we got a really, really choppy day today under the 80 MA, so we ended up with an upper shadow right here. So kind of looking a little bit bearish, but we'll see where we go from there. We're going to take a look at it a little bit more in a little bit after we take a look at the S&P futures and see what we're up to or down to this evening. So S&P futures about 15 points right now, right? So we're kind of starting off with a fresh day here, kind of like a double inside day. So interesting retrace here so far. We had this crazy drop into the close, but it's actually not that surprising. I know it's surprising if you're in it, but it's but not that surprising. So we're about a 618 retrace right now. We're in the golden zone on a retrace from that move. But why would we not be so surprised about this? Well, look what it was, right? If you go to your market profile, guys, today was a narrow range inside day, and it's basically like a responsive day. So what happens is we bounce off the intraday value area highs, value area lows, and we basically were just doing that all day, right? So we started here, and sometimes it takes a while. It takes at least an hour or so to figure out that you're in that sort of range. And then once you bounce right here, we got back up to this level. Are we really surprised that the market pulled back right at this moment, right? Just because we got to those levels area, wants to keep testing those levels and kind of going, and it's actually still kind of doing it after hours. So, that being said, a couple other things too that were interesting, right? We were kind of running into resistance right here, so it's kind of a tough one to look at to see if it's breaking out. We were running out of volume on the green candles. We weren't seeing a lot of action. This green candle right here was decent, not a lot of volume, so really not really one of those ones we expected to go up. Now, it was kind of looking bull flaggish going into the close, right? A little bit bull flaggish right here, but did we get any sort of confirmation this thing wanted to go up? No, right? And then we ended up breaking down below here with increased volume. I mean, right? I mean, it was just saying it wanted to drop here at the close too. So that being said, let's take a look here and see what we got going on now. So we have this pretty much holding this geometric line right now, looking a little bit rising wedgish here going into the evening. So we'll see how that goes. Like we said, we're in the golden zone right now in this retrace. If they want to continue the downtrend or break down below here, and then of course a breakdown below today's lows could really kind of get things going, right? So that kind of gives us a little bit of a preview here for kind of what we're looking at here on SPX. So which way will we go? Well, that's really the big thing, right? So it really kind of depends on where we open tomorrow, right? There's a couple things that could happen, right? And today's daily candle, like we looked at here on SPX, is very similar to kind of the double inside day that we looked at the other day, right? And so, except this is just a regular single inside day, right? So you can see right here, we want to see how these levels handles right now. If we gap above the inside day and we push above the 80 MA and things are strong, right? They might go for this gap fill up here, right? So that is a possibility. If we gap down tomorrow, let's say that rising wedge ends up breaking down and we gap down tomorrow, then we could be looking at more of an impulsive downside move, and we could really see this downtrend start to kick in. So what are we looking at here in terms of the wave count? So that's why I didn't go over this a little bit earlier. I wanted to point it out here. So this is kind of what we literally pointed this out during the day today. We're like, okay, this is a very, very tight range. And so we talked about this as a potential 1, 2, 3. And in our group in the Discord today, we were like, okay, here's your A, here's your B. And I was like, if we get one more, retrace back here that doesn't take out these levels, that's very possibly a wave C move, and we might be starting the wave 5 down. And so really, that is exactly what happened, right? And you can see we got this crazy intraday spike that brought us basically just shy of taking out the highs of the day, which means that this could be a wave 1, this could be a wave 2, and you can see we got that start of that wave down here at the end of the day, right? So not really surprising to see that move down. Now we're still in this range, right? So we're kind of, in a way, possibly triangulating, right? So we may still turn into a wave 4 triangle going into tomorrow, which means we might turn into another double inside day. We just have to see what the price action does. Now, another possibility is if we gap up like we're doing right now, and we get kind of a nice little gap up right here, we don't take out those levels, we could be looking at a 1, 2, 1, 2, or a kind of a triangle type move. And either way, we would look for a volume breakdown, some confirmation breakdown below those levels to see if this wave 5 down really wants to get going. And then we look to ride that wave. So we'd see how it goes. And then even then, right, so that would, if it was a triangle move down, there'd still be an opportunity for a retrace, and then we could get wave 3 of 5 down and really get going. And what does that mean kind of in the bigger picture? It means that, right, this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So we're really just working on a larger wave 3 wave, right? So a larger 3 wave. So you can see here, this is just part 1 of wave 3, and this is very possibly part 2, and this is just sort of like the wave 1 of a subwave 3, and so we could be seeing what looks like choppy action here over the next couple days, but really starting with a potentially a larger impulsive move down. So guys, we've been pretty accurate with this wave count over the last couple of months. A couple adjustments along the way, a couple tweaks right here, but so far so good, and it's been really helping us really well here navigate these days. So if you guys are watching these videos and checking out the videos throughout the day, the lunch videos, the morning videos, and the wrap videos, and here, and especially if you're in our group, right, you really get you can see where this wave is going and how we're looking at it. So anyway, good stuff, guys. Well, that's what we got for here today. So we'll see which way we go tomorrow, what the price action says. And other than that, at this point now, if anybody's got any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. And we'll get through as many as we can, try to wrap as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you had a good day today. Yeah, so Netflix was a wild one. Fun ride this morning. Again, this is kind of one of those classic moves that we saw with Tesla the other day. Intraday major daily geometric breakout, right? So you have the breakout on the geometric. The real level right here was 600, right? And so you go to 600, right? And then you look to see if there's a potential entry in here. Now this thing just ripped at the open today. So here's your 600 level right here. And really what it did is it corresponded to a 15-hour breakout this morning, right? To get through that geometric level. So at that point here, right, you get a nice piece of the wave, a nice piece of the action, and it ends up going from 600 ultimately to like 609 for a pretty decent move. And then you sort of get the choppy type action right here. So kind of there's your wave 1, A, B, C, wave 2, and we'll see if we get a wave 3 up tomorrow. But kind of a nasty upper shadow there off the daily chart. But yeah, big move today. Good stuff there. Okay, a couple other names that are interesting. Facebook. I'm generally leaning bearish on this name, obviously. So I like how it broke down below the bear flag yesterday with increased volume. One of the things is like you kind of look back at it, you're like, wow, this green wave, this green candle up right here with decreasing volume was really the entry. But it's still looking pretty bearish, like it wants to hit that 335 level. I think it's very possible, especially if it loses that level, to get to 330. So I'm still kind of keeping an eye on that. I don't like the low volume today. But it's definitely one that's kind of like a go-to short radar name if the market gets weak, right? Or if tech gets weak, or the big 5 get weak. As for Apple, very similar. We saw a bunch of inside days today, just like the market. I'm still kind of bearish on Apple, right? I just think Facebook has given a really, really nice breakdown right here. There's a couple of geometric levels that have been taken out here on Apple recently as well. So again, inside day kind of stuck in the cloud right here. Let's see how it handles those levels too. But good stuff, Mike. Really appreciate it. I hope you have a great evening. And Robbie, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look. You got SE on the radar. Yeah, nice breakdown there below the 50-day moving average, looking a little bit sketchy. It's kind of running into a little bit of congestion, some prior congestion right here in kind of this area, right? So let's just kind of see how that holds there as potential support. But if it loses that, right, it could get pretty interesting. And Nike, let's take a look at Nike's, guys. Wow, what a great move, guys. We pointed this out as a. I need to mention this. We pointed this out in our group as a swing idea a couple days ago when we gapped down off of earnings, that there would be a potential nice move down to the 200-day moving average, and we got there yesterday. So just a really nice move there on Nike. So and again, there is the potential for a gap fill here, but see how it holds the 200-day moving average. Really, really nice move. Yeah, this is a nice swing short here over the last couple days. So good stuff there. Other than that, good. Really appreciate it, Robbie. Otas sent a few in via Twitter. Let's take a look. You got mRNA on the radar. Looking a little bit sketchy below the 50-day moving average. A little more volume might be good for it for the downside, but not too horrible. And then BNTX, another biotech. This one's a ADR too, but inside day off of that one. If that breaks down, watch out. It's got that 200-day moving average below, which could be interesting. There's also a gap below there, a little bit higher up, which could be interesting too. So good stuff. Thanks, Otas. And Shirley, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Edit. Yeah, wow, nasty breakdown on Edit right there. It actually filled the gap from filled the gap below, but leaving a gap above too at the same time. It did run into a little bit of support right here, so I'd be a little bit careful with that one. But that was a nice intraday breakdown on that. Mara, again, Bitcoin being pretty weak right here, guys. That's going to affect these names, right? Any of these mining names, right? So back down to the 200-day moving average on this one, so see how that holds. JMIA was getting perky the other day, but like I said, remember, if you guys remember, I said, look, you got upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, all those upper shadows right here, and then kind of worked its way down. And now look at that. We said they could come down and test this level from yesterday's increased volume candle, and we got there. And that was from yesterday's discussion. Fubo, nice breakdown there too. Another nice breakdown candle yesterday as well. As one of my favorite ones on the downside. So now it's just, let's see how far it goes. And SBC breaking down, but it got a big boost after hours. I don't know if you saw this. Big move right here. It got FAA more clearance to fly. So that's going to be a potential 15-word radar name for tomorrow as well. Again, it's been holding this area. So again, big area to look at here is kind of getting over this 26 level with some volume. So let's see if we could actually do that. But good stuff. Thanks, Shirley. Really appreciate it. J Moss, what's going on? Good to see you. You got Cube on the radar. Let's take a look. Cube with almost a morning star reversal right there. I think this real body just kind of tagged that one right there. But decent push here today. Still under the 80 MA. Bit of an upper shadow. A little caution, but over the 80 MA could get interesting. And RSI, possibly working on that flag, but it's at the bottom there right now with increased volume. And it's under the 80 MA, so a little bit of caution there too. But good stuff. Thierry, what's going on? Good to see you. Neo. Neo gave a good pop this morning, then kind of pulled back here, just like Tesla. Right? Tesla had a good pop this morning as well, then pulled back similarly to Tesla, and then a big move down. So again, really tricky right here. Inside day, upper shadow, off the 80 MA, and the prior support zone, which seems to be acting as resistance right now. So we've got that going on. And then BITF. Let's take a look. BITF, interesting breakdown there today. Again, not a lot of volume here, but there's a kind of little level right there that might try to hold a support, but let's see how that goes. But really good stuff. Thanks, Thierry. I really appreciate it. And then one more. What's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Beam. Yeah, Beam, nice breakdown candle here today. You got kind of a couple interesting levels right here. It's not breaking down below this geometric line yet, but see how it holds that level tomorrow. If it breaks down below these lows in volume, it might be an interesting one on the downside. And Muku, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see SPWR. SunPower. Inside day, down today. So it ended up kind of working its way down below the 80 MA, but a little bit of decreasing volume. So maybe just kind of in this little choppy, sloppy here still. So again, I really love this candle right here. Maybe if we don't take out that candle, we'll try another bounce, right? It's kind of like a little kind of, intra 1, 2, and then maybe kind of work on a 3 out of there. But let's see if we can get some volume back into the cloud. And other than that, guys, great stuff. Awesome requests tonight, and really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this. It's been fun tracking the market here this week. It's fun tracking this downtrend. It's been giving us some good opportunities intraday, and as long as you take advantage of it and manage your risk. And but anyway, guys, good stuff. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning, right here on YouTube for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And until then, guys, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay